Hey everyone, thanks for joining us today for our second webinar of the year. We are continuing to navigate the still very uncharted waters of COVID-19, and our team, both at Betabound and CenterCode, are still working remotely. We really appreciate you taking the time out of your day to join us for this webinar, and we hope that, like usual, it gives a little bit of background on what we've been up to and a small little peek behind the curtain at how Betabound operates. So, without much further ado, let's jump into some quick introductions. My name is Brad. I'm Betabound's Community Director. With me here is Ulysses, our recruitment lead. And as always, you can reach out to us via the usual means if you have any questions. So email us at hello@betabound.com or reach out on Twitter. We're just at Betabound over on there. As we all continue to navigate the current situation, we're super grateful to have you guys tune in. And we hope that Betabound continues to be a place to help you get your mind off of things. So here are some of the things that we have been up to recently that have hopefully helped you stay entertained during the past few months. So first up, we are still updating our blog weekly with new posts, and we thank you for reading. One of our latest blog posts, titled How to Write High Quality Feedback, focused on what kind of input our test managers and clients find the most helpful when you are participating in a project. So the tips provided in that blog post give you all of the tools that you need to become an even more valuable asset during testing, and to help you really stand out amongst your fellow Betabounders. The blog is just another little sneak peek into how we run things. These posts are designed to be informative and give you an upper hand when it comes to applying for and participating in our tests, among many other things. So if you haven't checked it out yet, I highly recommend visiting betabound.com/blog. One other thing before I move on, so if you haven't seen a topic that you find interesting or you're curious about, let us know. Email us at hello@betabound or reach out on Twitter, and you just might see your idea covered in a future blog post. So recently we have had some of our most unique ambassador project opportunities yet. We tasked you with helping us find visually impaired individuals to help Dolby test out the accessibility features of Dolby On, which is a music playback recording app for mobile phones. In addition, we were also looking for individuals who either worked for or owned a small business that had frequent mailing needs to try out a secure online service designed to help people send physical mail. So these two demographics, these groups of people, are not your average run-of-the-mill Betabounders, so we really appreciate our ambassadors helping spread the word about these unique testing opportunities. We hope to find similar success with our future opportunities. So speaking of, let me jump into what we currently have available. So as we continue diving into 2020, we'd like to grow our Betabound community in a particular area. So our currently available micro-community opportunity is focused on recruiting testers in Japan. We are looking for people who live in Japan, have an understanding of current technology, and are interested in participating in real product tests. We do ask that these people in Japan have a reasonable understanding of English, just enough to, create an account and provide basic feedback. This ambassador opportunity is currently live, and you will be entered into a giveaway to receive a $20 US Amazon gift card if you refer at least one person who lives in Japan and signs up using your ambassador code. If you have any questions about your code or any questions at all about this opportunity, please reach out. Now that we are all caught up, I'm going to dive into a little overview of the Betabound community before I hand things off to Ulysses for a project tour. Many of you are familiar with logging into Betabound or our partner testing communities, but you might not be aware of all of the different nooks and crannies of our site. By taking this tour with us, not only will you be able to navigate Betabound with ease, but you'll be able to pass along this great information to your referrals. As a Betabound ambassador, we do rely on you to spread the word about us to your friends and family, and this information should hopefully make it easier for new testers to get acquainted and comfortable with their new journey as a Betabounder. As we've mentioned previously on a past webinar, Betabound is powered by CenterCode, which is a product testing platform. Whether you're creating a new account or just logging back in to check on a project or logging in to apply for a new opportunity, at some point you're going to come across our welcome page. A lot of you mentioned how much you like our sign in with Google feature in a previous discussion that we held in the Ambassador project, and we're glad that you love it. We hope to bring this feature to more testing communities powered by CenterCode in the future. So once you're past that page and you log in, you arrive at what we call the community homepage. There is a mobile optimized Betabound site, I do want to mention that, but this tour we're going to be focusing on the desktop experience. We know that many of you do access Betabound through your smartphone, and we love that. You're always free to switch to desktop mode if you'd like to get a matching experience with what you're seeing here on the tour, but just keep in mind that what we're about to show here is all with the desktop experience in mind. So this is that home page. If we zoom in here on the left, you'll see a few options to add or update your existing profiles. As we've mentioned before, test platforms are short profiles designed to be about the tech that you already use, which we consider when we're sending out invites for our exciting test opportunities. So test platforms are where you can manage your existing platforms or add a new one here. An example would be adding your mobile phone, telling us what phone you own. That way, if we have an opportunity to recruit people who maybe only use Android or only use iOS, we can take a look here and make sure we're inviting you to the right kind of opportunity. You'll also find your account settings, basic profile, extended profile in the personal profile section. So if you need to change your username, you'll head to the account settings link. If you want to update the different product categories that you're interested in testing, you'll find that in your basic profile under user profiles. If you recently moved and you want to tell us about your new residence, then you can update your residential address in your extended profile. You can also find our latest announcements or contact us directly from this menu as well down below. Now in the middle of the homepage, you will find a dashboard. So any tests that you are currently a part of will be listed under My Projects. If you've recently applied to a test, you will see those as a list under My Applications. As you can see, this tester here applied to many tests. Fingers crossed that they get selected for one of them. If you have any questions about a pending application, feel free to reach out to us at hello@betabound.com and we'll provide an update. I know I've said that a couple times at this point, but please definitely feel free to reach out. We love chatting with you guys, and we hope that it continues to be valuable. Now, as many of you know, our tests can be highly competitive, so even if you do meet all of the test's requirements, keep in mind that there could be hundreds or even sometimes thousands of people applying alongside you. So it's really important to make sure that your qualification survey stands out, and that you let us know really what makes you a good fit to test. Also on this page, you will see any featured announcements. You'll see a link to your account settings as well down here in case you didn't find it over on the left, as well as your preferences, and you can log out along the bottom as well. Now, if we take our eyes over to the right side of the homepage, you will have a chance to add or update your avatar. So as you can see here, this is an avatar of Ulysses. This is not me, I am Brad, but for the sake of this presentation, we grabbed some from his profile to give you a little preview. Down below that, you can see a link to one of our featured blog posts, which is 7 things to do after signing up for Betabound. This is a really great read for any new Betabounder, so if you've recently signed up or referred someone to us in one of our ambassador opportunities, be sure to lead them here. It covers a lot of the questions that newbies tend to have after joining and does a pretty good job of summing up the general FAQ. Now right above this, clicking the box with your name and avatar will bring up your account settings, preferences, a link to our privacy policy, and a logout option. And the cool thing about this box is that it'll appear on any of our Betabound pages. You'll be able to reach these options even when you're inside of a current project. With that said, I'd like to pass this along to Yuli to start the project tour portion of this webinar.
Thanks, Brad. Now we'll take a closer look at a project space. Once you're selected to participate in one of our exclusive tests, you'll be living in this space for the remainder of the testing period. So let's get better acquainted. If you're an Android user, this project homepage might look familiar. We recently hosted a public beta for the Paladin Story, a medieval open-world RPG for Android devices. By default, you'll see the Project Overview tab selected in the middle of the page. This will include any vital information about the product and the test. Here, we see a description of the product you're testing, but you'll also see any pertinent information or updates in this Overview tab. For example, if there's a known issue affecting the product's performance and you need to download a software patch to keep testing, it will be posted here. Any changes to the test or tasks will also be mentioned here in the project overview. If we switch over to resources, you'll see a shortcut for tester resources and any available surveys that you're required to take. Think of this section as a checklist of things to do or read. We'll touch on tester resources a little later, but I want to pay special attention to surveys right here. If we take a look at this screenshot, it looks like someone hasn't filled out their weekly survey yet. Surveys are super important when it comes to providing feedback, so if you're on a test, be sure to complete these as soon as possible. Not completing them within the specified amount of time in the test will have consequences and may affect your eligibility for future Betabound tests. Next is the Following tab, where you'll see any feedback you are currently following. If you've submitted your own feedback, commented, or upvoted on someone else's feedback, you'll see them listed here. If you spend a lot of time submitting or collaborating on feedback, this is a great tool. You'll be able to see everything you've touched at a quick glance. You can see that each piece of feedback has a checkbox next to it. You can choose to mark it as read or stop following if it's no longer relevant to your testing experience. You can also edit email notifications for the feedback you follow here. If you'd like to keep better track of the feedback coming into the project, use this tab to customize your needs. The Participation tab will feature any tasks or surveys you've already completed so far. These items are necessary for successfully participating in a project. As you noticed earlier, this tester still hasn't completed the weekly survey, but once that's been filled out, you'll see it appear here. Use your project dashboard every time you log back into the project. If you haven't been active in a few days, this is the best way to get caught up. Now, let's pull back out to the home page and head to the left. While the left-hand menu inside of a project looks similar to the Betabound homepage menu, it will be specific to the test you're participating in. In this case, we'll have feedback, surveys, and resources available to you as a tester. It's good to note that these categories are specific to this public test. Our other exclusive opportunities may have more options located in this menu. Submitting feedback is probably the most important thing you're asked to do during one of our tests, so here's a few scenarios you'll find yourself in. Let's say it's your first day of testing. You've downloaded the game to your phone with no problem, and you've been playing around with it for a while. As you continue to play the game, you notice a very specific UI glitch. It doesn't always happen, so it might not seem like a big deal, but that doesn't mean it's not important. Perhaps this is only happening on your Android device, or this is something that other testers are experiencing as well. Whatever the case, let us know. Log into the project and head to the feedback section. From there, click on the Submit button next to Issues. You'll be taken to the Submit Issue screen where you'll see a predictive text field. You can start typing out what your issue is, and you'll see any relevant feedback that's already been submitted. After typing something in, our search has spawned a few results. Let's take a closer look at this first issue that appears. You'll see a title for this piece of feedback and get some more details in the blurb shown. You'll also want to take notice of some of the icons here. The gray box will let you know how many testers experienced the same issue. For this one, 2 testers reported experiencing this. The yellow box will let you know how many comments have been added to this piece of feedback. It looks like we've only had 1 comment so far. Now that you have more details about this specific issue, there are 2 options to choose from. This matches and not a match. If this is the same problem you ran into, go ahead and click on this matches to see what happens. Your experience is now tied to this existing issue. You can now visit this piece of feedback to check out more information. You'll see the tester who originally submitted this issue also added screenshots of the problem, which is always highly encouraged. This makes it easier for both the product developer and other testers to see what exactly happened. As you can see, the product developer is already aware of this issue and left a comment, thanking the tester who originally submitted the issue for their hard work. If more information is needed to help better define this issue, someone from the product development team or your test manager will ask for a follow-up in the comments. If you'd like to echo the original poster's experience or describe a slightly different case, but that's related, be sure to use the text box below. This is a great way to collaborate with your fellow testers. By clicking on this matches, you've also raised the occurrence rate for this issue from 2 to 3. The higher a piece of feedback's occurrence rate is, the easier it will be for the product developer to know which aspects of their product need the most attention. Now we'll take a look at what happens when you click on Not a Match. Let's say you're experiencing this UI glitch when accessing the in-game menu. The first few predictive results might mention UI glitches, but it's not what you experienced. Clicking Not a Match on a piece of feedback hides the issue and helps narrow down the search results. You've reached the last relevant issue listed, and it still doesn't mention what you're seeing. Now it's time to create new feedback. This will take you to the issue form. You'll need to provide a summary of your issue. Make your summary as succinct as possible and try to capitalize it as you would the title of an article or book. Let's call this specific issue UI glitch occurring when accessing menu. Remember, other testers will see your feedback, and the clearer you make this issue, the easier it will be for your fellow Betabounders to understand your experience. Next, provide steps to reproduce. Your summary will only provide a brief summary of what happened, so you'll need to provide more context. This is especially helpful to product developers, as they will follow your steps to see if they run into the same issue. You'll then tell us what happened. Take this opportunity to provide as many details as possible. Anything that doesn't fit in the summary line and helps flesh out your experience is perfect for this section. Attach any screenshots that will help show your issue more clearly. And let us know if this problem stopped you from further testing. While the glitch happens from time to time, you're still able to access the game without experiencing crashes. In this case, you'll answer no. Now that we know how to submit a piece of new feedback, let's explore another common scenario when testing. You're enjoying your time with the game so far, and other than that slight issue, you haven't really had any complaints. It's not quite the perfect game though, and you can't place your finger on what's missing. This is a great time to check out what other testers might be thinking. You can visit the discussion section for a general sense of what other testers are thinking, but for this scenario, let's get more specific. Let's click on Ideas from the feedback menu to see if anyone has made a suggestion to improve the product that might resonate with you. You'll see a list of all the ideas that have been submitted so far. Before we take a look at the existing list, let's pay special attention to the filter above. This is available for all feedback types, and it comes in handy when you're looking over existing feedback. Use the following options to sort through existing ideas. Toggle between public feedback, which will show all feedback, or my feedback, which will only show anything you've previously posted. The next filter will let you sort by the following options: newest feedback, newest replies, and most reported. Choose the one that makes the most sense for you. There is a search field here that can help narrow your result if you're looking for a specific topic or keyword. You can also choose to view ideas you haven't previously viewed if you're a daily visitor to only see the latest. Rounding out this filter are the Follow All and Expand options. Press the envelope icon and you'll be able to follow every idea and be notified directly whenever that idea has been updated with a new comment. By default, you'll notice that every listed idea will only show a title or summary. If you aren't getting all of the context you need from this short description, press the Expand icon. Once expanded, the idea will feature more information. To the left, you'll notice the occurrence rate, or how many other testers agree with this idea. You'll see more details of the submitted idea, the tester's avatar, and the number of replies underneath. To the right, you'll notice the tester who originally submitted this idea and the last tester to leave a comment on this idea. Now that we've covered feedback, let's finish up our project homepage tour with the resources section. You'll see any vital resources needed for your test in this section. All projects are different, so some might have a ton of resources, while others may only feature general test information, like this test welcome guide shown above. Then there's the Leave Project section. We know sometimes life can get in the way and you aren't able to participate in a test as you originally planned. We definitely understand. If you are no longer able to participate in this project, there is an option to leave this project. Be sure to also communicate this to your test manager so you can wrap up any loose ends, like returning test materials, without difficulty. We hope you've enjoyed this Betabound deep dive. We're excited to continue hosting some really amazing and unique testing opportunities. If you're a new Betabounder who hasn't participated in one of our projects, or are a veteran tester who needs a little help describing our tests to your friends and family, we hope this tour helped get a better sense of the Betabound homepage and project space. Thanks for joining us today. If you have any questions, we've attached the Google form below. You can also reach out to us directly via the usual means. Stay safe, everyone, and see you next time.